Hi, welcome to my channel. Mrs. A here, your Filipino-American online tutor. For those who are new here, I would like to know that I have series of videos for grade 6, 7, 8, and grade 9 mathematics. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is free. Share and like also my videos. Let's get started in today's lesson. So here we're going to prove that the two triangles are congruent using two-column proof. So here, given C is the midpoint of segment AD and segment BE. What does it mean if it's midpoint? It means that this point divides segment BE into two congruent segments. Same with segment AD. Also, the point C is the midpoint of this segment. Therefore, it also divides segment AD into two congruent segments. Okay, so now it means that this one is congruent to this, or that is segment BC is congruent to segment CE, and we have segment AC is congruent to segment DC. Okay, so now we can put that, but first, we need to put the given first. That would be the statement number 1. C is the midpoint of segment AD and segment BE. So we can put segment there. Okay, so what would be the reason? That is given. Because out of that, from that statement 1, we can get this here, the congruent segments. So we can have that in statement number 2, that segment BC, this one, is congruent to EC. Okay, so we can put segment there. And still, the reason there is from number 1, which is the definition of midpoint. Okay, the next number 3, we know also that C is the midpoint of AD. Therefore, AC or segment AC is also congruent to segment DC. Okay, so again, there, your statement number 3 and the reason for statement number 3, again, is definition of midpoint. Okay, so look at this one. You already have side. Okay, two pairs of sides that are congruent. Now, what else can we get out of this? What other parts of the two triangles that we can prove congruent here? Okay, look at this one. This angle here and this angle here, they are vertical angles. And we know that vertical angles are congruent. So therefore, we can put that as our statement number 4, that angle ACB is congruent to angle DCE. Okay, again, angle ACB is congruent to angle DCE. These two. And the reason there is vertical angles are congruent. Okay? Next, you have already side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. We can now say that the two triangles are congruent. This triangle is congruent to this triangle. So number 5, so what's the name of the two triangle? Okay, there. So we can have now triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. You need to be careful with the corresponding parts, okay? A corresponds to D, B corresponds to E, and C corresponds to C here. Okay? And the reason is SAS congruence postulate. Side angle, side congruence postulate. Okay, so there, we prove already that this triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. Here, we're asked to prove that corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So it means, ibig sabihin dito na kailangan i-prove muna natin na yung dalawang triangles are congruent bago natin i-prove na yung bawat parts nila or corresponding parts are congruent. Okay, so angle R, we need to prove that angle R is congruent to angle T. Okay? Now, look at the given. We have already QR is congruent to QT, and RS is congruent to TS. Okay, which means we already have two pairs of corresponding sides that are congruent. So we can now write that in our statement that segment QR is congruent to segment QT, and that is given. And then also number 2, we have segment RS is congruent to segment TS. Also the reason is given. And check what else you can prove there. Can we prove that these two angles are congruent? Can we prove that these angles are congruent? Okay, now look at this side here. This side, QS, is the side of this triangle. And at the same time, QS also is the side of the other triangle. So now we can say that that segment QS is congruent to segment QS. And that is reflexive property. Okay, so now we have this, another sides that are congruent. So we have now side, side, side. Is there any congruence postulates that prove that the two triangles are congruent if we have side, 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 or three corresponding sides are congruent? Yes. So we can now say that to triangle RQS is congruent to triangle TQS. Okay? And that is by SSS congruence postulate. Okay, there. We prove now that the two triangles are congruent. Therefore, it follows that corresponding parts are also congruent. And that part is angle R and angle T. So now we can say in our statement number 5 that angle R is congruent to angle T. The reason there is corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, or CPCTC. So not only angle R and angle T are congruent actually, pati ito, angle RQS and angle TQS are also congruent. Pati rin ditong two angles dito are congruent also. So that's how you're going to prove that the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. You need to prove first that the two triangles are congruent. That's all for this video, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye!